Yeah. Well, let me just ask you a a fun question here. Who do you think you could help out there who doesn't know that you could help them get more money, get more exposure, have an easier time of it, just in general with all the things you could do for them? Give me a wish list just in case they're listening to the podcast.
Okay. Um, yeah, well, I mean, I think there's definitely a certain point where you do need a manager, you need an agent to help you. That the agent is a lot of times, kind of has it's not the most glorious role, right? I mean, you are typically negotiating as a middleman, so it can be kind of seen as sleazy, or, I don't want to, have to deal with this guy who's just in the middle of it. So when you find, and there's definitely, we're not the only group. There's, PCH Sports and some of the other, well-known managers out there are all doing it for the right reasons. It's a passion play. But kind of my general rule of thumb is if you can if you're hitting the podium at about 75% of your races, you can really benefit from a manager. If you're winning, one or two races a year and you're not as consistent yet, I think one of the beauties of the professional side of the sport and the way they get sponsors is the fact that they are very, the sponsors like engaging with the athlete. A lot of times they don't want to deal with the middleman until that athlete gets big enough where they really need, some of that administrative side, support. And that's when you play, that's when the sponsoring companies really like it. For example, we collect a lot of marketing collateral around Craig for his sponsors and then feed it back to them. So that's when you really get in sync. But, if I had to pick a dream, somebody who I would go after, and we don't really recruit anybody. It's typically we meet by chance. That's kind of how it's happened with our client roster. But I really like what Sebastian Kienle is doing. Not only is he a great athlete, but he kind of brings a new younger perspective. He's kind of got that snowboardy-esque look. He's really funny. So if Sebastian's listening and he doesn't have a manager or is in the market, we'd love to talk with him. But there's a lot of other athletes out there. I mean, Javier Gomez is amazing. I know his manager is, and they have a very good relationship, but, I like the young generation coming up because they have a chance to kind of redefine the sport, and bring a new, fresh perspective. And a lot of them are, we're in a day and age now where, when I first started, when Try to Buy was around, there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook. That wasn't big back then. So, now you can connect with your audience as an athlete, in so many other more efficient ways now, but also you can be, frankly, there's a lot of athletes that need filters between their brains and their fingers before they tweet or before they Facebook stuff out. So certainly we can help them there. What's good in terms of engaging an audience can also, be your downfall. And we've seen that in a lot of cases. So,
Twitter can be your best friend and your worst enemy as an athlete. It's a double-edged sword. I guess you live and die by it. So
yeah, I'm kind of waiting for the next platform in which I like the Twitter and the Facebook. It's very cool to kind of have that. I think it's the modern day way. A lot of sponsorships are engaged, but I'd like to see the next level come into it, whatever that is. I guess I'm a kid of the 80s, right? So it's like, I like it. It also is kind of annoying to me as well. So, yeah, I really appreciate you inviting me on the show today. It's been great. I love what Triathlon Research is doing. I mean, there's not enough of this kind of stuff out there. And so, keep on keeping on.
Well, hey, thanks. And you've been a big supporter of us coming on your show. And also, I just wanted to mention at the end, Crowie's bike fitter that we need to have on the show. We need to tell the story about the bike fit and how Crowie got that amazing bike split, which Retul had a lot to do with. But we'll do that with Crowie's bike fitter, who will come on the show. And also at the camp, we are going to be 24 to 29 August, the Mark Allen camp with Suzanne Atkinson and Jay Johnson, the Nike running coach, and Terry Laughlin, the TI swim coach. We're going to be filming at the Retul headquarters. And we're all, so that's going to be a great situation for a Triathlon Research audience. Even if you don't make it to the camp, we're working on a way where you can maybe get some access to the film. And that's thanks to Retul and Endurance Films. And then I think you're going to give us Ivan, Crowie's bike fitter, for the class to the campers on bike fitting and cycling form. Is that correct?
Yeah, Ivan and Todd will be there. Todd really has actually been with Crowie since day one. Since he's my partner and co-founder. He's been fitting him, when he was still racing on road bikes with aero bars. So Todd would be great. Ivan is kind of our in-house triathlon fitter that's worked with Craig the last few years and is is a and he's really looking forward to the camp in August.
Yeah, great. And just looking forward to that entire day. I think you look at the bike splits that have been coming out in the last 5, 6, 7 years, and we're really seeing that element of being able to buy speed that you're talking about, where Retul has opened up a whole new world of possibilities for triathletes on the bike. And the bike is so much more important when you're locked into it on a long course than even when you're on the Tour de France, because your ability to get out of the saddle and draft off of people. So it's a huge, I think, uncovered area that you've really tapped into that everyone now is racing into. So congratulations on really pioneering this part of the sport and being part of that from the beginning, and helping out these great athletes, not only with Retul, but with what you do to help them be who they are and be better versions of themselves in the sport.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, thanks, Franko. And if any of your listeners to this would like to get more information about the Triathlon Research Camp, 24 to 29 August in Boulder, Colorado, just go to triathlonresearch.org/camp-application. So again, triathlonresearch.org/camp-application. And that's it. Looking forward to the next episode. We'll be having Ivan, Crowie's bike fitter, on soon, and then Crowie himself, right? Towards the middle of the summer here, we need to get him on here if he can take a break from his training.
Well, or take a break from World Cup. That's where he's at right now. He's down in Brazil. He watched the opening game yesterday. Brought the whole family down there. So he's got a 1-year-old in the Brazil-Croatia game. So talk about a man who loves soccer and will go the length of the world to see a match. So yep, he's definitely looking forward to being on the show, and I'll tee up Ivan as well.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Franko, for all that you've done for the sport. You've got a great vision for what the sport can do even in the future, and I look forward to seeing what you do.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, thanks.
If you enjoyed today's show, please go to iTunes.com and review Triathlon Research Radio so that you can help us share this great information with more triathletes and grow the sport.